much time do you spend down here? Most people, rarely anymore. It was the same reason why I was interested in kettlebell training, is because I think it's not just pure vertical, straight up and down movement.
And these women, they just sit on the ground in a squat and they just do that. And it's like, wow, this is actually how you use a squat.
Squat is universally one of those movements that people don't do well anymore.
In India is one of these countries where they just keep squatting.
Yeah, we've sort of conceptually rearranged our athletic priorities to think that moving big weight and getting that Instagram clip that goes viral is more important than being able to move well first. It all sort of stemmed back to when I was a young physical therapist. And
The flowing Dutchman, yeah, shuffle on the production. Like this, yeah, like this, yeah. The flowing Dutchman, yeah, the flowing Dutchman.
Boom, and welcome to another video. So we've landed on the Dutch Flow World Tour in St. Louis. And I'm here with the man, Aaron from SquatUniversity. And that's really cool because, you know, everybody's into strength training who's done anything with lifting must have seen this channel somewhere, either on YouTube or Instagram. He's been inspiring millions of people with his techniques, but also with his recovery methods and the way that he rehabilitates his clients, sharing about that very, very profound knowledge about actually how to train people, but at the same time, how to move efficiently and effective. And that's what I've always seen when I have seen Aaron working, when I've seen him sharing his work. It's not just about squatting, it's actually about movement in general. Am I right, Aaron?
that's exactly what it's about.
That's
moving well.
It's about moving well. So I got one question for you already, Aaron. So what made you start this trip and like the whole SquatUniversity idea?
So I think it all sort of stemmed back to when I was a young physical therapist. And when I would see athletes for injuries, I would always ask them to get up and show me how they're moving. Show me a simple squat. Show me a bodyweight squat. Show me a single leg squat. I'm not looking for you to do a pistol squat like you're a CrossFitter, but I'm just looking to see your basic control of your bodyweight movements. Things that everyone should be capable of doing, no matter if you're, a high school athlete, a soccer mom, or a grandma and grandpa. You should be able to move well. And time again, I was seeing people that were very strong that could not perform basic fundamental human movements of especially a squat time and time again. So it sort of dawned on me that we've sort of conceptually rearranged our athletic priorities to think that moving big weight and getting that Instagram clip that goes viral is more important than being able to move well first. So that's where I sort of started with SquatUniversity, was let's rearrange these things. Let's teach proper technique. Let's teach how to move well first before we lift big weights, and let's teach people how to fundamentally treat common things like knee pain and back pain that aren't huge medical issues. You should be able to do that on your own, and a lot of it stems just from proper movement.
That's beautiful. So the idea behind the squat, what made you focus on that specifically? Was that just
I think the squat over all fundamental human movements is the one that most people lost as they got older. They could run, jump, lunge, hinge, but they could not squat. That was one thing that I think a lot of people lost. So that's sort of the cornerstone of what led me to make that the focus. Because I think when you can perform a proper squat to full depth, it shows that you have sufficient mobility at specific areas of your body, hips, ankles. It shows that you have good pelvic and core control, good core stability. And I think that lends to so many other possibilities of human movement when you can do that movement well. So it's not saying that one movement is better than the other, but I think when you look at the complexities of human movement, from 20 years old and on, if you were to test people, the squat is universally one of those movements that people don't do well anymore, yet they could do it when they were a child. When you get up and explore the world, you crawl, you squat to stand up, and then you learn to walk. But by the time we get older, all of a sudden there's something on the ground. I'm just gonna hinge to bend over to pick that up. No one squats anymore. So if you actually ask someone, how long are you actually spending time in a deep squat just during your day? How much time do you spend down here? Most people, rarely anymore. Because if we ever want to sit down, we sit in chairs. We don't sit in a squat anymore. And then you wonder why your regular squat in the gym has become problematic. Maybe you're developing some back pain, some knee pain, things like that. Well, it's because you have a problem. You have a fundamental flaw still in your movement repertoire that we need to address first.
I've been to India multiple times.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like you must know it, right? That in India is one of these countries where they just keep squatting the whole day. Like I've seen people literally have just a place where they work, which was carved out into a building, and it was on this level, and it was this big, and they sold tobacco.
Yeah.
And they just sit like that in a squat the entire day. And people cleaning, like when they clean your room, they just have these cloths, and these women, they just sit on the ground in a squat, and they just do that. And it's like, wow, this is actually how you use squat.
Yes, exactly. It's one of those things, if it truly is, if you don't use it, you lose it. And so many people have that ability. It's something you're born with.
Right.
But eventually, especially in a lot of countries around the world, as soon as we get old enough to sit in chairs, we stop squatting. We stop using that range of motion. Things start tightening up and adapting, and then all of a sudden you wonder one day when someone says, hey, squat down, you're like, that's all I've got. You can't go any deeper.
No.
Well, you haven't used it in so many years.
Yeah, I got it. That's beautiful. What made you be, because you're not only interested in squats, like from what I see in your like, what is the range that do you take all of these movements into consideration?
So I come from a background in Olympic weightlifting. So I started weightlifting in 2005. And I was done with traditional sports of baseball and football, and I fell in love with weightlifting.
Gotcha.
And weightlifting, one of my friends, Chad Vaughn, he explains it as ballet with a barbell.
Right.
If you think about it, it's the purest form of strength meets art.
Yeah.
Because it's so technically demanding. And I think because of my love of that, you look at movements in different ways. It's not just pure brute force, absolute strength like powerlifting, although I love powerlifting.
Yeah.
But weightlifting, to do a snatch and a clean and jerk, is so methodical as far as how it has to be done technically in order to be efficient and optimal at it.
Gotcha.
So that allowed me to approach strength training with that different viewpoint than most people have. And then from there, just like I talked about with the squat, I think it sort of sets the precedent to talk about so many other movements because we're all speaking the same language. It's moving well first and then branching off into so many other different movements. With the idea, it's move well first, then let's lift some heavy stuff.
Gotcha.
Let's enjoy it.
Gotcha. You know, when you sent this, it suddenly dawned on me why you're interested in the Mace. Because what you described, that you lift, you perform a strength exercise, but at the same time, it being an art.
Yeah.
And that balance, because in my, like, the more I play with these tools, I play with clubs, the more I play with the maces and the gadas, the more I realize that it's actually it's an interaction with the tool that you're having continuously.
Yes.
And the perfect technique is actually, you have to listen to the tool and at the same time merge with it in some way.
Yeah.
And it's very visceral with a tool like this. But you know, the same happens with a deadlift. But we say you gotta have your bar close to your legs. And we say like, oh, that's very, very, that's why not? Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
But what happens with the Mace is that people, that they tend to tense up, right? Or they push their hands too far. They push their hands out. And in that same way, it's similar to what you would do, but just keeping the bar closer to your body.
Yeah.
And in that sense, or with a squat, moving straight down instead of moving like in a weird way down. And that makes the actual movement as efficient and effective as possible.
Yeah. I think that the reason I wanted to learn about Mace training was the same reason why I was interested in kettlebell training. Is because I think it's not just pure vertical, straight up and down movement like powerlifting is. It's complex, but so is human movement. There's times where you have a brace and then a pulse of energy and then a relaxation and then a brace again. So it's complex movement, but it lends itself to being athletic, I guess you would say.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
We're gonna have fun today.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, man.
I'm very honored.
Let's do this.
I'm very honored to be here, and I've got massive respect for what you're doing.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I hope I'll be seeing more Mace videos from you soon.
We'll do it for sure. Well, I know anytime I have a collaboration now where I'm like, hey, here's so and so, I'll be able to post you there.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing. You just bought a Mace. What should you do with it? The Mace 101 course is the perfect solution for you. It takes you through all the foundational principles of the Mace and turns that into long and detailed videos to actually master these fundamental principles. At the end of this course, you're going to learn a complete flow where we add everything on that we learned in this course. This course will take you to the next level, even if you are not a beginner. I hope to welcome you soon to the Mace 101 course. Boom, thank you for your attention, it's greatly appreciated. If you like the content, please consider to share, like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to see similar videos, you can see them over here. If you're interested in learning more from me as a coach, I've got online courses on DutchFlowAcademy.com. Keep flowing, Ram Ram.